Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Let me mute this. So yes, you guys have heard correctly. You guys have heard correctly. Leilani Simons is clink, clink, baby. Clink, clink. Clink, clink, baby. Today is a good day for us. As you guys know, I was about to roll out with a completely different segment. We've moved that segment now. You know, no charge Hadley about flipping time. And you know what? I'm glad you got her done before Thanksgiving. She is behind bars. She does not get to slice that turkey, baby. We were out there. We fought very, very hard for this child. She should have never been out of jail this long. This should have never taken this long. She had way too many abuse charges or abuse allegations against her. And she is now officially charged with the murder of her child. Thank God. About damn time. You know, no charge Hadley. If you were more concerned about this, you should have been in jail. But thank you. Thank you. And you're welcome for giving you, helping you get more staff. A staff department. That was courtesy of Bullhorn Betty, and you know it. Without me being out there in that street screaming you didn't have money, screaming you didn't have resources, screaming quit defunding the police, you are now getting some sheriff or some police staff. You are getting that courtesy of Bullhorn Betty. So don't tell me I'm not your friend. I do not have respect for the way you do law enforcement. She should have been in jail long enough or a long time ago. But thank you, no charge Hadley, for finally getting her behind bars. Today is a great day. Right on the heels of Thanksgiving, we have a lot to be thankful for today here on the streets of YouTube. A despicable person is off the streets, and screw you haters. What is this? This right here, she's now can start saying she has innocence before guilt. Now that she's arrested, now she can go to law, but don't bring that innocent until guilty crap to me, because I am not the court. I am not the judge. I am not the jury. I am a person that analyzes these cases and says this despicable woman right here with these alligator tears deserved to be behind bars. She should have been behind bars weeks ago. And yes, thank you to the wonderful men and women of blue for diligently doing your job. Despite people like me being up your behind, pushing you to do better. Thank you. Thank you, Chatham County. About time. Thank you. It is about time that you guys came and did this. This is a day late, but it's not $1 short. I can say that with all reality. Let's read what is going on here in Leilani. Guys, do not forget the work of many people, protesters out there, whether we agreed or disagreed. We came in a unified manner and we stood strong for this 20-month-old child. We fought very hard for this 20-month-old child. We had to take on the county. We had to take on the police department while we decided to go home as scheduled, by the way. And the police knew when we were heading home as well, as scheduled. We have been seriously waiting. Of course, the day that she would go to jail would be the one day that Bullhorn Betty seriously has no wheels. Right? Like, I'm stuck. My car is literally at the mechanic shop. There is not a vehicle in the front of this home, and I am literally stuck like Chuck right here, glued to the seat, and I need to be there. So I'm probably going to load up, do some stuff. About time. Now, where's Billy Joe's arrest? We're not quite done yet. No charge Hadley. We're not quite done just yet. We still have one more really despicable person that needs to be behind bars, and she's the one that lied to the courts. She's the one that jeopardized this child's life, and her name is Billy Joe Powell. Billy Joe Powell. You know what, Leilani, you bitch? Let me tell you something, baby. Let me tell you something, baby. Right? Let me tell you something, baby. What you did was one of the most despicable things a human being could do to their own offspring. To their own offspring. You sat out in the front of your house having to be coached by your mama to scream justice for Quentin. How does that justice feel? I'm just curious. How does justice feel? And don't worry, Billy Jaw. Billy Jaw, we're not done with you yet. And while Police Chief Hadley may have been in his county commissioner office is talking about the protesters. Now, mind you, only seldom was I actually a protester out there. So he was talking about his own community and his own people. That is really, really sad. I bet you if it was a different organization out there protesting, the county commission wouldn't be trying to put it down. And if they did, and he actually, so I'm actually going to be filing a complaint against the attorneys for the county based upon his information that he stated at his county commissioner office. They are going to be getting a complaint from me to the Georgia bar based upon their behavior and unethical behavior in misrepresenting the county there in a degree that harmed its citizens. I'm not sure how I'm going to couch that, but I'm definitely filing a complaint. I'll definitely be doing some record requests to find out who the county attorney is. And we're going to start moving forward. Thank you, Police Chief Hadley, for giving me that tidbit of information at the county commissioner meeting. You cannot violate people's rights and do it and be happy about it when you are the chief of police. That sickens me. I did want to tell, we are getting some donations here before we get real quick. I just want to say, these are the types of stuff that mean everything to us, right? We use these things all the time. Thank you for the donation. This will be used. It's much needed. All the stuff for the office is always much needed, so God bless you. Let's go ahead and read what this says. So right now, we are waking up today to the great news that Leilani Simon, if people don't know, they're coming in here. Let me just give you a little bit of background. On October 5th, 2022, it was reported that a 20-month-old child, his name was Quinton Simon, just seemingly vanished. They stated the door was unlocked. Leilani had told police that she believed that boy's father tried to pick him up. Then she changed it and said that she thought somebody had kidnapped him. At either way, at any point, it was found out the next day that there was something seriously wrong. They started looking at the landfill, but they gave that up. They started proceeding with their investigation. We arrived in town on October 11th. By October 12th, we were finding out Leilani was named the prime suspect in the disappearance and the death of her son. And then we stayed out there for weeks and weeks and weeks waiting for her to be arrested because of her extensive abusive history with these children and the drug abuse that she brought and put in front of these children. We knew that any good law enforcement agency, when a woman is on double probation, would arrest her for those unrelated charges to get her behind bars as they proceed in their investigation. This did not happen in Chatham County. As a matter of fact, there's many people in Chatham County that came out when we pulled up for the first time in front of that house. It was already lined up with people and news vans and trucks and things of that nature. And then as it progressed, the news went away and protesters came in. We were part of the protesting outfit at certain times as far as holding signs. At times, we did raise our voice. We did ask questions. We did speak our mind out there in a personal capacity, as a professional capacity, as opposed to the professional capacity that I was out there in when I was recording. I have no respect for this police chief, but I am very thankful. And that's just because of what he does to his community. I am very thankful for his dedication in getting this perpetrator behind bars a day late, but not a dollar short. So we are doing good. We have something to be thankful for this Thanksgiving. So on November 24th, around 4:17, that's when this report came out. Chatham County Police, the Chatham County Police Department has arrested Leilani Simon for the death of her son, Quinton Simon. According to the police department, 22-year-old Leilani Simon has been arrested and charged with murder. She was taken into custody on Monday, November 24th, and will be held at the Chatham County Jail while she awaits a bond hearing. She reported her 20-month-old son, Quinton, missing on October 5th. The police department said it did not anticipate any other arrest in connection with this case. That's the crap I'm talking about. That's the crap I'm talking about. Good old Billy Joe just squeaks on by that piece of garbage. Being able to use drugs in their town, daughters are yakking back and forth, and they are only arresting not anybody that helped her dispose of anything, not anybody that perjured themselves to court. Nobody is being held accountable but Leilani Simon. And you know what? It's because they're a broke county. They have mismanaged the hell out of their county. For all those haters out there that sit crackheads and sit clowns and sit all this stuff, making this little boy's case a freaking circus when we were fighting for him and his voice, screw each and every one of you. You don't work, or you're not worth our time. You're not worth our energy. And we do not consider you a content creator or anything other than a clown yourself. Again, she has been arrested. I don't really have a whole lot more of information than that. I'm going to open up the phone lines. I want to know what your thoughts are on this, because to be honest with you, I'm really kind of, I don't know how quite to feel about this in respect of, the time it took them. I mean, I am very thankful that they have arrested her, but still, to me, I don't see the other arrests of abuse. It's like they still are catering to this girl, this woman, this despicable woman and her family, helping them. I'm so sick of this mentality. Oh, you can do stuff like, for example, Billy Joe. You can do stuff that kills a grandson, like lying to the court and handing him back to the mother that you told the court was too dangerous to watch them. And you get to go off scot-free when it was your responsibility to keep this child safe. And the only person being arrested is your piece of shit daughter. Guys, I will tell you, please excuse me. For those of you guys know I don't like cussing, but I will tell you, I can kind of feel that this is going to be a foul mouth ridden live, to be honest with you. I have to be honest with you. I have to be honest with you because I am still a little hot under the collar related to this. Again, they knew she was responsible on the 12th. The 12th. Today is the 21st. It's been almost, no. What was it? October 12th. Holy crap. So it has literally been 45 days since they identified her as the prime and only suspect, and they finally get her behind bars. Dolly kind of called it, though. He kind of called it. I have to be honest with you. He kind of, called the whole, she's probably going to be arrested before the holidays thing. I still think she should have been arrested before Halloween, but this is good. So anyways, let me go ahead and get this posted. Give me just a second. Let me get this over on the other side. And we'll get this populated right here. I'll pin it to the top. Pin message. There we go. All right, the message has been pinned to the top. You have to show your face behind the scenes. I will not be bringing people's faces up here. I have had it. She was supposed to protect her grandchild. Yes. It's like when you just think that you finally get a scintilla of hope from the stupid-ass police chief, he cuts your legs out from under her. Where's the punishment for Billy Joe? Oh, Billy Joe lost a grandson. So even though she's responsible, she shouldn't have to pay the price, right? Irritating. All right, guys, hold on. Just give me just a second. I'm gonna bring one of you up at the time.
It's like, who cares? We care.
Yeah.
You don't want to speak up and be the voice for your child, for your grandchild. Well, we will be, you know, and if it's an open
one of our people went to jail for fighting for this baby. Let's not forget our Turtle King. You know, he's still having to go back there to fight this corrupt system that they've got. They put people that are pissed off that they're not throwing this lady in jail. It's some of the stupidest I've ever heard of in my life.
Well, I hope if she ever gets visitation of her grandchildren, it has to be supervised, because she should never again be allowed to have custody of them, because it happened under her watch. You know, maybe she's not the one that physically took the life, but had she done what she went to the courts to do, all 3 children will be alive today, not just 2 of them.
Absolutely.
And she needs, yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Me?
This case, and it took a lot of creators with a lot of great heart.
Yeah, it burned my behind when all them hater YouTubers came out there and tried to stop you. It burned my behind.
Well, they were also saying we were turning it into the circus. We weren't turning it into the circus. They turned it into the circus.
Right.
Don't you love how they always blame us for the junk that they're doing?
Right.
So, all right, Lisa, well, you take care and God bless.
You have a good Thanksgiving.
You too. You too. Guys, let's look at this. So I'm looking at this photo of her. She looks really crappy, but I'm seeing this right here looks like a turtle suit. It looks like she's under suicide watch. This is not a normal outfit. This looks like a turtle suit. They have her completely nude under this suit that she is wearing right here. It looks like she's going to the medical pod as opposed and being in a private cell as opposed to being in general pop at this moment. That right there, I know that suit. I've seen that suit. And it looks like she's on suicide watch.
I see a lot of people saying it looks like she's doped out in the picture. Like she's not. I personally, I think it looks the opposite. I think it looks like she's going through a pretty hard withdrawal.
Yeah.
Her eyes are sunken. She's got huge bags. Her hair looks, you know, like her hair looks stringy. And like maybe she tried. Maybe she tried for a second before she left the house. But oftentimes, I mean, if you've ever been arrested, they when they come to your house to arrest you, and they'll have people escort you to go get appropriate clothing sometimes. But I feel like if you're a murderer, they're just gonna escort you out. She probably went out in pajamas and a hoodie and no bra and no shoes and you know.
Yeah, I'm telling
the pregnancy rumor. I
think we started the pregnancy rumor, to be honest with you. I think it was a joke that got out of hand because Dolly and I were sitting out in front of the house and people were saying that Billy Joe was starting to put a wish list up and they started telling us about
what is that Amazon wish list and a GoFundMe for grandma for guilty.
Reach out to you and say that we're so grateful, and you know, I mean, if it wasn't for you and the pressure that you put on Chatham County, on the family, this may never have come to fruition.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm so grateful. I really am.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm going to step down. I know you got lots to do, girl.
We have something to be thankful for this Thanksgiving, which is happening literally in just a few days. On Thursday, this Thursday, let's all say a prayer for Quentin. Let's pray to God they found him and are able to put him to rest properly. That is our next goal, is to make sure Quentin has the proper resting place.
Amen to that. And then after that, we go hard for Billy Joe.
Yeah. I agree.
So,
she dropped. All right, Elsie, you're up.
Well, I want to say to the crowd, first of all, y'all need to apologize to Miss Betty here because you doubted her ethics and her work.
No.
So I would like to see some of them thumbs up.
Don't hold your breath.
I know, but yeah, I would just like to make sure everybody knows where I stand there too.
Yeah.
And then we ain't done yet because we still got a disgraced grandmother to finish the work, and the battle is not done.
Yeah.
But we don't have to worry about the mother being on the loose, hurting another child, or getting dates on the sidelines anymore with men that might have children.
Yeah.
So we are grateful and thankful that Leilani is locked up, the disgraced mother is locked up. But we're not done with the grandmother, y'all. We still got to fight that battle to get her locked up and some mental capabilities help her actions. And I want to say to Miss Diane, the babysitter, you might have changed your story 10 or 13 times in your TikToks and in your thing, but you stood by Quentin, and that's what matters most.
The only one. I mean, to be honest with you, really the only one in that whole entire community, that whole entire street that really stood for Quentin, that really helped, that tried to make sure that his voice, his face, his name was out there at all times. If we left it to Billy Joe and Leilani, nobody would have known that this kid was even missing.
And I want to say to you, Betty, thanks for everything you do. I mean, me and you work together in person, so we know that. But I want to thank you as well. And y'all that doubted her, like I said, I expect to see some comments in her comment box. Apologies, because she didn't do nothing wrong. And she told you that from the beginning. She followed the law and the statutes and her paralegal background that she's showed many times. So I want to see that, because where y'all downvoted her, justice was served on one, but we're not done on the other.
I mean, there's more people that should be in jail because this child should have never been put through that abuse. People knew it was going on. Billy Joe was the one responsible person for this child, and she's being held without. I mean, she's not even having to deal with her responsibility of this. And she's escaping that responsibility, you know, in the way it's appearing right now. So I hope
I want to give a shout out to the Savannah community protesters, Mary, and the rest of them, that you stood your grounds on the front end of it and still standing your ground. So please, y'all, remember, some may be crazy in their own words, but they still stood up for this little baby, and they still get appreciation for being there and being not heartless enough to do it.
Is that we all stood in solidarity for this kid, despite, you know, how our opinions, because clearly they have opinions of me. I have no opinion of them, to be honest with you. I don't know them like that. But, you know, we all still stood there in solidarity, and we were not fighting with each other out there. It may have been on social media, some things being said, but as far as the working relationship out there on site, it was pretty good.
Yes, and it was peaceful.
Okay, perfect. Let me go ahead and pull this up here. So what we got for charges right now is for Leilani Simon.
Make it bigger. 2 men.
Yeah, it won't let me get it. Let me see if I can download it. Hold on, let me download it.
Could have
downloaded
it. God.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. So
everybody messaging me.
Yeah, hold on, put this up here. Let me make it bigger. So here, what we got for Leilani? We've got concealing death of another, false statement, concealing facts or fraudulent documents, false report of a crime, and murder. So she's got several charges. It looks like a total of 4 charges: concealing a death, false statement or writing, concealing facts, fraudulent documents, matters of government, false report of a crime, and murder. So here's one charge right here. Here's another charge right here. Here's another charge right here. And here's another charge right here. So
it's the best one.
Yeah, she's got one. This probably is a felony. Yeah, so she's got 1, 2, 3 felonies and 1 misdemeanor charge at this time.
Oh, Lord, everybody's got me hopping over here.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can get this pulled up over here.
Yeah, let me
see. Me up.
Why is it there's no mute? There's no.
Many people 20-month-old after his disappearance. Simon is being held at the Chatham County Detention Center and is awaiting a bond hearing. We do not anticipate any other arrests in this case. She has been the sole suspect from the beginning. On Friday, our search teams at the Waste Management landfill found what they believed were human remains. This afternoon, the FBI lab in Quantico, Virginia confirmed that they are, in fact, human remains.
They found them, guys!
Including a DNA analysis is being conducted, and we have every reason to believe that this will confirm the remains are Quentin's. This is a heartbreaking development for everyone who loved Quentin, for the many people who came to know him after his disappearance, and for our department. When we first received the call that Quentin was missing, we were hopeful that we would find him alive and unharmed. But as we have been telling you for weeks, all of our evidence pointed to his mother being responsible for his death and disappearance, and his remains being found in the landfill. I would like to thank the many people and agencies who worked hard to ensure that Quentin was found, that he would have a proper resting place, and that justice would be served. First and foremost, I want to thank the FBI. We are incredibly grateful for their invaluable assistance. Their expertise, their manpower, resources, and guidance are unmatched and were crucial in our efforts to find Quentin. They were on the scene within 3 hours of Quentin being reported missing and have assisted with every aspect of this investigation. The resources they poured into the landfill search are extraordinary and are the reason that we were able to find Quentin. I can't thank them enough. Chatham County Police Department's Criminal Investigation Division also deserves special recognition. Their devotion to Quentin, to making sure this crime did not go unsolved, is an example of police work at its finest. Our detectives worked tirelessly and were determined to follow every lead and uncover every piece of evidence in this case. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation, Chatham County Sheriff's Office, and Department of Natural Resources all had officers searching the landfill alongside our officers and the FBI. The support of the Chatham County Emergency Management Agency, Chatham Emergency Services, Chatham Occupational Safety and Health, Savannah Police, and Savannah Fire also were invaluable in this massive effort. Finally, I would like to thank the many people who showed their support for our department during this incredibly difficult and important investigation. We appreciate those who kept faith in the system and waited patiently for evidence we needed to make sure Quentin has every opportunity to receive the justice he deserves. At this point, I'd like to turn it over to Will Clark, who has some comments from the FBI.
So we just found out, guys, that he has been found.
My name is Will Clark. I'm the Senior Supervisory Resident Agent of the Savannah and Brunswick offices of the FBI. 1 month ago, we began this landfill search alongside Chatham County Police Department with one purpose in mind, and that was to find Quentin and to bring him home. On Friday, search crews from the FBI and Chatham County found what we preliminarily believe are partial remains from a human child. Those partial remains sent to our lab in Quantico, Virginia. Additional testing for potential confirmation is now underway. It could be days before we have final results. What happened to this 20-month-old child is unthinkable. No child should be harmed by anyone, let alone the person in their lives that should be their protector. This investigation does not end here. There is more work to do. The FBI, along with our law enforcement partners, will continue to find justice for Quentin. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll appreciate that. We'll try to answer some questions that you may have. Just be mindful that there's many we may not be able to answer, but we'll be willing to take some questions at this time. We found human remains, yes, ma'am.
Did you believe in that dumpster? Do you believe it was locked in or had died before? We have been listening to Chief Jeff Hadley, who you still see on our screen right now from the Chatham County Police.
We don't want to hear you talking. We want to hear the questions.
Just to confirm that Leilani Simon has been charged with murder in the death of her son, Quentin Simon. In fact,
we're going to switch over to a different feed.
Via Twitter from.
We're going to go over to a different feed, guys.
Thank you. We'll appreciate that. We'll try to answer some questions that you may have. Just be mindful that there's many we may not be able to answer, but we'll be willing to take some questions at this time. We found human remains. Yes, ma'am.
Do you believe that Leilani was put in that dumpster? Do you believe that he was alive then or had died before he was in the dumpster in the landfill?
Could you? I didn't hear the first part. I'm sorry.
Do you believe that Quentin Simon was alive when he was in the landfill? Do you believe he died before he was put in that dumpster?
I can't answer that question.
You charged Leilani with murder. Can you speak on whether you think it was accidental or intentional?
I can't speak to that.
Can you talk a little bit about what evidence you all confirmed or learned on Friday that you all go ahead and make that arrest before today?
Well, as we had said from the beginning with the landfill, we had every belief that Quentin was there in the landfill. Having found what we found on Friday and the preliminary findings from the FBI that we got today led us to make an arrest today. We feel that we have a very strong case. We have put thousands of hours into this, and we believed that this was the right move today to be able to do that. She doesn't deserve a Thanksgiving, quite frankly.
Thank God. Thank you, Hadley.
We are not. That's correct.
The judge has been the same in this case. Have you not made the discovery on Friday? Say this case had a 15 search, found nothing in the landfill. Would you still have been able to make that case for have justice, or how significant was this?
Well, it was very significant, obviously, for obvious reasons. We do believe we had a strong case otherwise, but that would have been in counsel with the Chatham County District Attorney's Office, but we believe we had a strong case otherwise.
You're certainly very personal about this, and you said in that landfill that day, with the picture behind you, you said, we want to make sure we bring Quentin home and we give him a final place of rest. We wanted him to be able to make sure he wasn't in that dump. On Friday, how personal was that fine for you?
Well, it was very personal, quite frankly. I mean, there's a lot of aspects to that. I mean, knowing the hard work that went into this investigation, everybody, not just Chatham County Police Department, but everybody that chipped in, the FBI, GBI, DNR, Chatham County Sheriff's Office, the civilians, you name it, from A to Z, we were 100% committed to bringing justice for Quentin and to appreciate the amount of human effort, the amount of human emotion that goes into a case like this, and to appreciate, hopefully, that this comes to a conclusion in terms of a conviction and things of that nature. You have a lot of emotions about that. You also have a lot of emotions as just a general human being, as a person who has children. You see the impact that that has on people. So if you step back and take a moment to kind of absorb that, I think that if you didn't have any feelings about that, you might have to ask yourself a few questions. I can't answer that.
Has Leilani's status as a flight risk changed, or did it change prior to the arrest?
No.
Chief, you say this is preliminary. You would assume there isn't other human remains in that landfill, but until you get fully 100% confirmed that these are flight risks, what makes you confident to make the arrest today?
I can't get into the high level of detail, but just on some of the preliminary information that we got from the FBI, we have a high level of confidence that those are Quentin's remains, and we felt that we needed to make the arrest today because that was the right thing to do.
There's a lot of pressure for remains. What kind of remains are we talking? You say human remains. Any more specific details?
No, ma'am. Go ahead.
Chief, this case has been one that has made national news. There's been a lot of pressure against you personally with your name out of the mouth of protesters, out of the mouth of the community. You've gotten a lot of pressure about making this arrest. Standing here today and knowing that you have this key piece of evidence that you just said, what kind of message do you send to the community? People, A, that had your back and said, yes, we're going to wait on the police to do this. And then to the people who said this arrest should happen.
Well, I didn't honestly feel a lot of pressure, quite frankly, only because I believe that our investigative process, the expertise that we were seeking that was around us, having a little bit of experience, in this profession, I understood people's perspective. I understood that, some people had their own strong feelings about when an arrest should be made and things that were going on, but we stayed focused on what we know and what we know how to do. And in conjunction with the FBI, we stayed the course. And so to those folks that supported us, to the citizens that believed in us and believed in our department, I thank you. And for those that had questions, that's their right to do so. This is America. You can have all the
Amen. Thank you.
Maybe
he will get an apology letter from Bull and Betty.
And where we're at today.
The letter of today's conclusion, as far as today's conclusion, do you feel like there's a sense of relief as far as you all officers, FBI agents to come to an arrest and go ahead and move forward with the case?
Sure there is. I wouldn't be honest if I didn't say that there was, some weight lifted off of the organization and particularly those detectives and investigators who were completely and 100% committed to seeking justice for Quentin. So there is a little bit of relief, but be mindful, there's still a lot of work to do, and they're dedicated to doing that, and we want to see this to successful prosecution. We haven't made that decision yet. That's a decision point that we'll come to once we're able to get some more analysis done, and we'll confer with the FBI and see what the best course of action is.
And Leilani is also charged with making false statements. What false statements did you make?
I can't get into that.
Is she cooperating with police right now? Is it only cooperating with police?
She's at the Chatham County Detention Center right now.
And if I were to go back to the initial question that I asked about whether or not you guys have loans to the Ramfield,
Well, human remains, some of them are human bones, and some other evidentiary matters.
as far as the bond, is there, do you all have any updates with the bond hearing?
I do not have that confirmed. I do believe it'll take place tomorrow, but I don't have any time or any confirmation on that. We did, take her to the detention center rather late in the day, so I'm sure that information will come out pretty soon.
Leilani made a statement to me that she would turn herself in. Was there any talk of giving her that opportunity?
I agree.
No.
Chief, you said in the beginning, the woman recommended, you said that there's a very specific dumpster that this child was put in. Can you just give us the location of that, how far this was from the house where it was last week?
I can't give you that information.
I have one more question. Can you give
Last
us
question.
an estimate on how long this analysis would take? From what you guys know?
It could take up to a week.
A week.
And I have one last comment, and I want to thank you guys.
He's emotional.
Because just like sometimes law enforcement gets the short end of the stick, you guys get the short end of the stick too. And you guys have been amazing. Our local media throughout this. You've been fair.
No, you haven't.
Direct. You've asked good questions.
No, you haven't.
And you've, given us some deference when we needed some deference. And so I just wanted to say
You
thank you.
slapped his knob and you
your
were
work
biased in your
that you do
reporting.
every day.
So, no.
Thank
No, we're not giving you guys that. No. That ain't happening. All right, so we're done with that. So we learned a lot with this. I'll get to you, Ms. Ann, in just a second. We learned a lot. I was, talking about, but you're right. He does. He even said that, himself, that this is America. He understands why we did what we did. But he still fought us tooth and nail instead of just doing the right thing. She should have been in jail a long time ago. And we just found out from him that they had substantial evidence even without his body. They wanted to go with it. They wanted to find him. And I understand that, but that's what I'm talking about. You had a substantial evidence, enough evidence to arrest her, and you let her party. You let her do whatever the hell she wanted to do. And I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that. So here's just a recap for all those people that are just now tuning in. On Friday, sometime Friday, so that means it went through the whole weekend, still no charges, but I digress. I mean, she's behind bars. I'm not going to keep beating this dead horse. And, Chief Hadley seems to be emotional about this, which is nice because he seems like a robot to me sometimes. But they have found him. They found Quentin on Friday. The FBI was involved. The FBI has found partial remains and other evidentiary items for evidentiary value that have been taken and collected. The FBI was a big part of that, big part of the processing. It sounds like that Quentin's remains are now being processed for DNA and other things to conclusively identify him as being the remains that they found in the landfill. I had all hopes. Many people did not have the hopes or did not feel strong that they were going to find him in the landfill. I was confident that they were going to find him in the landfill because I had spoke very highly of the logistics that goes behind the systems that are associated with those landfills, identifying where he could have been put is, key. The diligent work that they did brought him home. He's going to be able to rest in peace, finally rest in peace. But they did find him in the landfill. No charge Hadley. I should need to probably lose that now that we have charges, but I'm upset that they don't anticipate charging Billy Joe, and I think that's a miscarriage of justice, personally. And he also stated that they had a strong case without Quentin's body, which almost frustrates me a little more. But again, I've always backed the blue, but when I see this kind of stuff, I get frustrated. And, even Police Chief Hadley, he understands why we were out there. He had an opportunity to dog me right there. That was being addressed to me and Dolly and the rest of the group, Mallory, Marissa, Justice for All, Chronicles of Olivia, ICU. Those were a question, a dig directly to us. And he, had an opportunity to slam us and chose to take the higher road. And for that, I am appreciative of it. Hopefully now we can start getting to work. They can start building this case. But again, I still think it's totally a miscarriage of justice for Billy Joe not to be facing justice at this time. Whitley, thank you so much for all your help and everything. I saw you behind in the chat and you weren't there. Miss Ann, if you can just give me just a few moments and I'll get right back with you. I did want to go over some of the super chats. I didn't want people thinking we didn't see them. I had been starring them as they were coming in, but since this was breaking news, I couldn't address them. So I'm going to address a few. We have 12 right now in our starred area. So let me get through these, and Ann, I'll get right back with you. Nice case that should also be in jail. And then lastly, Vicki, anyone know if Dolly knows this breaking news? Yes, I have already spoken with Dolly Vision multiple times today, as you heard whenever I muted the phone to speak to somebody. That was the communication between Dolly and myself about this case as I was coming live. And Little Devil has, thank you, Betty, Dolly, Mallory, and Molly. I know you met Justin. Leah's not, right? I get what you're saying. Rest in peace, when we love you and would never give up on finding you. No, we would never give up on finding you. As a matter of fact, we all knew that I was going to Chatham County with $3,000 cash because I was going back to fight for this little baby. I can finally know that my $3,000 bail money is not going to be utilized in Chatham County. I still am upset that they're not charging anybody else. But again, we are thankful the culprit and the person that was most likely to injure themselves or somebody else is finally behind bars. The streets of Chatham County are a little safer this evening. Now, if anybody knows Bubba personally or has his number, you guys may want to talk to him about. I mean, Billy Joe's loaded. She's got houses, she's got RVs. She was responsible in this house. She died in her care.
According to Cher, she's selling everything, but she can't pay her bills. But her tail was in Sam's buying groceries, steaks. I wish to God I could eat a steak.
Right.
That would be nice. Instead
But
of
not only that, Miss Ann, she's selling it because she's got a huge drug problem.
Yep.
Billy Joe, you stopped smoking crack, believe it or not. You have a lot of money. I don't know if anybody knows, but there for 6 months, that was my drug of choice. And guess what? I was always broke too until I get to have it. And you know what? Now I got a paid off house, paid off car, and I broke all the time. It's because I spent every penny on these cases.
Yeah.
I was like, as this story is winding down for this segment, like I'm getting teary-eyed. I have to be honest with you, this has been so hard. This is a case that has really been very emotional for me. Many of you guys know I don't have children of my own. I've tried for many years. And so hearing that this baby killer is off, that they found him, that he's going to be able to rest in peace, it's a lot of weight off my shoulders. Because to be honest with you, the thought of going back to Chatham County to get arrested, which I was prepared to do. Many people know in my inner circle that I was prepared to go out there. I was going to be sitting out for the house again, and I was going to be willing to put myself in legal jeopardy to make a point. And I'm glad that doesn't have to come to that right now. But if it did, I would have done it. And I am just, I don't know the emotions I'm feeling right now. Like I'm so happy, I'm elated, but I'm incredibly sad too. I'm incredibly sad for this little boy, for the people that really cared about this little boy. And it's heartbreaking. And when I went out there, I told everybody, at the end of this, there's no winners here. There's nothing to win. I'm not in it to win it on this case because there's nothing to win. There's no winners here. So God bless them as well. I'm glad I'm not going to go to jail in Chatham County. We can stop it, Dolly. We can stop our targeting. He took one for the team. God bless him for that. And we all have his back no matter what. I will be in Chatham County during his trial or anything else that he goes up there for, because I want him and his voice to be heard, and I want to make sure that they know he did nothing but protect us in the absence of this improperly funded police department. And again, Police Chief Hadley is gaining more money and is gaining more staff as a courtesy of the work that we did. Because if we weren't talking about it, we didn't raise hell about it, he wouldn't be able to go to the county commissioner and say, hey, I need more police people on the streets. I need this, I need that, right? He's got 37 or 27 open vacancies. They need to start being competitive with the market to get better quality and better trained officers. Thank you, Bull Betty. You're welcome.